just talk to the old man. And Gaddafi, they treated him so bad that they let people commit sodomy on him, right? So how much they hated Gaddafi. Why wouldn't we have enough sense to know better? You never know. Sometimes it's heroic suicide. We're the Blackstone Rangers, Peace Stone Nation, Al Rukin, and now we mumbo-jumbled up. But we can't see our way out, right? We can't see where, you know what I mean? The white man done blocked off, and he let you know, yeah, well, what you gonna do, boy? And if you're not diligent, if you don't have a protracted mentality and super optimistic, you may start seeing he's showing you life in his vision, right? He's showing you his picture. You can't look at it, but how many Negroes gonna learn that, right? You gotta remember, how many is gonna walk through the minefield of life without getting blown up? What's the numbers look like? So, if not, where's everybody at? Where's Sekou Dinga? Where's, what's the nigga was here the other week? The Panther 21. Where, okay, when somebody get out of jail, we can meet them, hey man, here's a little money, try to help you out. Yeah, then they off and gone. And then, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that I meet everybody that come out of prison, but if they were, you know, you could see pictures on the phone, you know, if you have to, you know. BLA, Black Liberation Army, all them people, right? That's who you know, right? And maybe they pay attention, and maybe boss man tell them, yeah, you can get out of the pen, but you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. We don't allow that. You know what I mean? We just don't allow nothing else to happen. And if you listen to boss man, pretty soon, boss man gonna tell you what to do. And you're gonna listen to him. And he's gonna make it look like you're not going to do anything. Let me see, just one more minute, I'll be there in another second. So anyway, the point is a type of suicide. It's called revolutionary or evolutionary suicide. When you, basically, it's heroic suicide. So what if you just take some marijuana with you and you know better? You know better. So who the hell needs to be high in Mississippi anyway? Right? When you got a whole gang up there, right? But you don't know what you can tell them to make them useful. So you have to go around and around and around the same old thing all the time, right? Okay, that produces, yeah, here's a picture. Everybody can see who that is, right? I don't care whether you hear about As-Sabiqun, Joanne Chester, all that New Jersey Turnpike stuff, Black Liberation Army, okay, boop, but that's it. Just like I pushed that button. Glad to see you. You're in exile together. But bossy say, oh, bossy don't want certain things to happen. Why you don't hear nothing? Why you don't hear nothing about it? and it's stupid when you do hear it. It'd be dumb arguments like them niggas, right? Arguing about, what is it, hotel, that stuff. Where is, you mean, let's go over the math. You mean out of all of the people, let's just do a realistic assessment. Out of all the people that go through that, don't nobody come out right. Huey Newton commits suicide. How? Drugs. Eldridge Cleaver commits suicide. How? Drugs. The police is laughing and happy. My son told me when he was in jail with Huey, and Huey and them told him, the guy said, that's little Hank over there. So Huey told Axel to come over and say, yeah, we want to thank your father for what he did, but here come the captain. Where's that Huey P. Newton there? With a big joke. They don't do that to me. Where's Big Hank? Who you talking to, sucker? What you talking about? They don't do that to me. They can't do that to me. The FBI, when they didn't say, where's that nigga at? They said, nigga, where's the nigga at? They ain't said nothing like that. How to punk the FBI, right? That's going after them. How many people do that? So I'm getting to the point in a minute. Heroic suicide. They done pushed all the people, man. They push them to suicide. They give up. That's basically what it is. Huey gave up. He said, hell, I can't. I done messed up my life. I done killed this little prostitute. I did this. I forgot my principles. Suicide. Heroic suicide. But even them, it's not heroic suicide. It's just slow eating away of reputation, of movement, of ideas, and breaking people's heart. Same thing with old Eldridge, but Eldridge was never no good. Don't get it wrong. Eldridge was never any good. So if him and his homeboy come out of our house carrying a desk, trying to get it somewhere to sell it. What's that nigga's name? I think Marvin X. Marvin X. And they was calling, what's her name? Eldridge the devil, Shaitan. That's Shaitan's friend, you know. And all them guys is over at the Black Conference here not long ago at Howard, maybe 5 years ago. So some guys approached me. They say, you remember the movie, The Panthers? They say, you remember the guys was in San Francisco and they had a fight with Huey Newton? I said, yeah. He said, that guy is me. We have a school somewhere. And he said, we heard about your stuff. Now, what's the name is telling him? The Negro from Oakland is telling him, this guy, Big Hank, they had this for Oakland. They did that for the party. You know, and so he says, we want someone, or we want you to explain your ideas on that, you know. I said, well, I'll let you a little later. Basically, no. You know, because I know the whole program was set up for that reason, to try to drag, you know what I mean? Because the government when you start telling it, they want you to tell it in detail so they can
dissect.
Huh?
So they can dissect.
Yeah. No, well, we're going to tell a whole lot of the story today because the people don't understand. They don't understand what's going on, and this also goes back to a question someone asked me, how are you doing? How do you do this? I said, well, I'll tell you later. But part of that will come to it. You got to remember Pagan. Anybody remember Pagan? People Against Gangsters and Drugs.
Oh, South Africa.
South Africa. very good friends of mine. By then, you gotta remember, if you remember, the last time I'm going to South Africa, 2013, the people invited me because of certain things, and I was there dealing with, Rauf, refocus and all of that. A beautiful drug program, one of the best in the world that we started back in '98, but a little before. But I spent time with Paget, invited me there the last time, specifically in '98. The issue with Paget was, I don't know if you remember the picture of Rashid Stasi in the newspaper when this guy, they thought he was dead, Paget sprinkled gasoline on him, lit him a fire, and you ever see the monsters in the monster show? He was on fire. That fire woke his behind up. Of course he died, but he got up and was walking on fire. Yeah. That's Paget. People against gangsters and drugs. The idea with Paget knew by then that how to get focused on what you're doing. So, but I gave some talks for them, but by the time they was in a lot of trouble in '98. '98, I went there and I told them this. I said, you guys look exactly like the Black Panther Party in 1968. You're exactly like them. Because we went around to the court and the leader was going in one trial, deputy leader was in another trial. It was Cape Town. I was going through the court, and so then I advised them on certain things. I said, number one, I was riding with one guy, and he was taking a license plate. It's a beautiful, one of them deep blue Benzes. It might have been a Mercedes. Deep blue convertible. Blue top, blue inside, blue on, blue in blue. Bad. So he's taking a license plate down. Paget guy with me. I said, why are you taking the license plate down? He said, well, that guy is too young to have that kind of car, and da-da-da-da-da. I said, well, after all, and then Mr. Hussein from, might have been Ghazali School or one of them, let's say somebody tried to blow him up. This was a second attempt. And I'm friends with everybody, so he invited me, please talk to your friends. Can you tell them? You know what I mean? Anything, I done repented, I don't do this, he's the principal of the school. I said, sure, I gotta cut him. So I talked to them and I asked them, first of all, in the news, you can hear the news, one van blows up with a Paget guy in it, you know what I mean? And so the police is blowing them up. All this stuff is going on in Cape Town. So I said, what about Mr. Hussein and something? He said, yeah, he ain't doing nothing now, but 15 years ago, he was getting pills from India and all that. I said, good God Almighty, 15 years ago? I said, what about Sharia? And I said, the guy you was taking his license plate, you didn't have no evidence on him, did you? No, but I could tell. I said, oh, you can't do that. Islamically. I said, no. You can't do it. I say, y'all be trying to blow me up next because all you got to do is add double the time. I said, hell, 20 years ago, I was selling dope, big dope. something like, it was back a while, but I say if y'all going back 15 years, I mean, you know, it ain't no cutoff, it ain't no nothing. So, we also met with them, and we told them this, that revolutionaries have to have a place to hide. They hide amongst the people. I said, you done declared war on the police and on the Muslims. You ain't got no place to hide, you don't, right? I said, so you gotta be nice to the Muslims, right? And so, oh, we just let everything, just nice folks, right? I said, you have to do that. And when you do that, right, you can concentrate on the police, because you either have to move from people against gangsters and drugs to have a total revolution. Right? You can't have partial, you know. So what they did was basically what we said. At that time in Cape Town, they had just brought in, what's the Negro historian? Abdul Hakim Quick, he was down there. Last time I had seen Abdul Hakim Quick, I called him the police and all that stuff, snitching. Which he was, you know, Saudi snitching. So the Saudis, when we came, the Saudis invited him down there to work with the Judicial Council, which all of them went to school in Saudi Arabia. Anyway, they said to him, what I showed the brother that I was staying with, that I was making all these talks, because I was raising funds for Pagan. They was in jail, they needed help. And I was trying to say that your day is not finished, you still got good left in you. I said, but you got to ameliorate this stuff. So I said, let me show you how this is done. So we went to the Muslim Judicial Council, where Abdullah Hakim Quick was. So when we walked in, oh, Imam Musa, and then I was facing him, and I said, oh, Imam so-and-so. I said, this is hypocrisy. I said, you know, I said, that's what you got to do. I don't like the guy. The guy know I called him a police. But he's, oh, I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you too, right? But you have to make some tranquility. You have to make some peace. You see what I mean? And so, about South Africa, there's one thing, it says, greatness of purpose, smallness of means, and astounding results. I don't know if you can see that. Greatness of purpose, smallness of means, and astounding results. Okay, what that mean was, we're hooked up in South Africa. We have the Europeans falling out all over the place with us. We're having demonstrations all down here, right? Remember 15, 20 years ago? We're having demonstrations down here, right? We done acquired all this property. You know, we haven't acquired nothing in 20 years. It's been 20 years ago we've been at all that stuff. The point is this. Okay, here's the point. Greatness of purpose, smallness of means, and astounding results. That's a criteria for judging a human being. Greatness of purpose, smallness of means, they ain't got nothing. And astounding results, right? All right. So, now I want to bring it home to where we are now and what we're doing. When we watch press TV and we know that they're trying to get my mind into drugs, you know what I mean, and what have you, I have to be able to look at the foreign ministry in Iran and say, no, if you want to bust boss man up, this is what you can do. You can do that. And right, I mean, you can, that's physically not hard. If you take your time, if you're smooth about it, you can knock boss man. You can get up in there where you can, okay. So we know that everybody's involved. If Dr. Kaleem Siddiqui, what he said, remember what he said? He said, this guy this is what he said over 25 years ago, from the slave ship, right, to the jumbo jet, to the anvil, yeah. You know the anvil is shapes and forms and everything. You stick that piece in hot water, right? Then you beat it, then you stick it in cold water, right? And you beat it and shape it, but you got a good utensil. This is what I'm talking about the human being. Let's go over our people and our history just for a second. We have to examine Imam Jamil. He's a good man. But we have to look at him, you know what I mean? Okay, we can already see, you can see right away certain things. Number one, they went to school. That's not bad. School is not, y'all went to school, so that don't mean it's not bad. It's not bad. But in school, suppose you miss a test, take it over, right? Most of the time, you can take it over. Suppose you're in South America and you miss a test. You're a dead man, right? Suppose they got a cutie pie, set you up, and they're gonna steal all your money. They're gonna steal all that money, they're gonna kill you, or you're gonna have to start all over. Or the police gonna put you in prison for the rest of your life. You don't get a chance to take no test over. You have to be right the first time. And you have to know your environment. When I came back from Colombia in 1978, maybe I was thinking about doing something illegal, but I was too much in the Sunnah. I got too much. So when I went back down there, you know what I mean? It didn't taste right. And some of the things happened. I said, man, 5 years ago, I was, you know, ethics had creeped in. Ethics been creeped in. And I can't do it. So I come back here. When I hit the airport in Miami, I always use my brother's passport. He was a baseball player. So the customs agent say, you're back from playing ball, huh? I said, no. And they arrested me.